And the last one, y'all, is going to be, let me see how y'all can see this one. Does your mortgage retire with you? This is American Financing. It's the author of this article going to be at the end. Okay, no author for this article. Anyways, does your mortgage retire with you? What does retire mean? Let's find out. The American Financing team recently completed a retirement and mortgage survey in depth, studying examining mortgage, retirement, and homeownership trends among 60 to 70-year-olds. According to the findings, 44% of 60 to 70-year-old homeowners bring their mortgage into retirement. Goodness, that's almost half of people are retiring with a mortgage. And this is where the data gets confusing. Then we talk about how many people own their. Back to the classic keyboard, y'all. How many people own their home? According to Zebra, 64% of Americans own real estate. No, have no mortgage. Okay, 40% is saying own it outright without a mortgage. Okay, that makes a little bit more sense. That's 84% here. Okay. And 32% predicted will take them more than 8 years to pay it off. I guess that's post-retirement. An additional 17%. And this is the thing. So it's going to take you 8 years to pay it off. Let's say most people get a 30-year mortgage. Let's say 60 minus 22. That's 38. Okay, I know a lot of people don't think, but if you're 38 in 22 years, you'll be 60. All right, if you get a 30-year mortgage in your mid to late 30s, even 40s, you're going to be at retirement age in 30 years. One of the reasons I don't recommend a 30-year mortgage. And if you do get the 15, pay it off faster than that. An additional 17% say that they may possibly never pay it off. My goodness. These result, and this is where we get to estate planning. Y'all want the house, but you can't get your parents' house. They never paid it off, or they took out a HELOC, home equity loan, a line of credit, a reverse mortgage, a second mortgage. I'm trying not to talk faster, but I just get so intense with it. These results are a fitting follow-up to Fannie Mae's own recent findings, which showed that today's baby boomers demonstrate a greater likelihood of carrying mortgage debt than previous generations, which is probably part of the sandwich generation, parent plus loans that baby boomers are probably, I would say, the first generation to deal with. Children staying at home longer / becoming financially independent, taking them longer to become financially independent. A lot of things that baby boomers, deal with as well, as far as most, not all, but a good amount of millennials / Gen X. I mean, our parents it's a likelihood that our parents are in the baby boomer generation. So whenever you see any financial dependency that Gen Z or millennials or even Gen X are facing, those parents are going to be early Gen X or likely in the baby boomer situation. Both my parents are baby boomers. If you're an 80s baby, your parents are baby boomers. All right, and all 80s babies are millennials, except 1980. Millennials are, I think, 1981. All right, never paying it off. And again, if you got your parents not gonna pay off their mortgage, like you got to think about that, because then everybody wants the house, but you gotta own the house to get it. And if you don't, that debt's got to get satisfied. You can't just take ownership of the house because it's your parents' mortgage and they're dead. So a new mortgage, you can't. That person can't keep a mortgage forever. They dead. Such findings expose an unfortunate reality for many of today's baby boomers. Many in this age group will continue to bear the burden of debt well into their 70s. My goodness, average age people dying is 80. Educational opportunities. Overall findings show that a majority, 64% of 60 to 70-year-old homeowners plan to remain in their current home. Excuse me, that's good. And 62% of these individuals plan to leave their home, okay, to their children / estate. The survey also revealed a majority, 71% of 60 to 70-year-olds would be likely to make home renovations rather than move in the event that a health issue affected their mobility and or comfort at home. Depends on the health issue. Depends on when you're up there in age, moving can be a health issue. That's a lot to move. Now, if you can financially do whatever needs to be done as far as renovating the house, which one would say maybe people in the situation can't because they still have this mortgage. But if in general it makes sense financially, then go ahead and renovate your house. Telling a 60 to 70-year-old that they need to move, it's got to be a very bad situation. Interestingly, nearly 63% of participants believe their savings would cover home renovations. That's not what it's for. If modifications became necessary, yet one question needs to be asked. How will these individuals afford to remain at home and make modifications if they run out of savings, when nearly half, 40% of those surveys reported being unsure of what they would do in the event that retirement funds ran low? Exactly, the data about how much money people actually have in retirement. A lot of people talk about how much money you need to have. This is why I don't think I've ever done these videos where, how much money should you have saved by this age, or how much money, nobody has any money saved. The most amount of money people roughly have saved in any age demographic from a retirement standpoint is $250,000 roughly. Okay, and that's not enough. All right, how long before retirees pay off their mortgage home? All right, 20% said less than a year, almost 14% said 3 to 5, 32% said more than 8, 6.5 said 1 to 2. Okay, I did this wrong. 6.5 said 1 to 2 years, 11% said 6 to 8, and then 16% said possibly never. So we're looking at almost half of people said they'll take 8 years and never pay it off. That's crazy. With so many older Americans carrying mortgage debt with them later in life, and many expressing uncertainty about the financial future if savings ran short, this could very well prove to be an increasing concern among retirees. That's why it's imperative that mortgage lenders make an active effort to discuss debt relief options with aging homeowners. Connecting baby boomers with key resources can provide important benefits and ease the burden of mortgage debt. Okay, we got some financial solutions. For instance, opting for a mortgage refinance can end up saving homeowners a significant amount of money. This, shout out to Gary Vee. We have to start saying at one point in time, you are too old in the sense of your runway, your room for error, your margin for error is gone. And retirement age might, in your 60s or 70s might be it. Shout out to Colonel Sanders. Colonel Sanders is the only person I'm aware of that made a whole bunch of money at retirement age. When you get at retirement age, 50 is the cutoff. 50 is the age where even the government says, hey, we're defining this as the cutoff age for being on time, because if you're at 50, we will allow you to do a catch-up contribution. You can only catch up to something if you're behind. So 50 is that marker. 60 is 10 years after 50. 70 is 20 years after 50. So when we talk about people doing a refinance on a mortgage, why definitely don't. Most people, not all, but most people, when they do a refinance, they extend their term. So say you've been in the third year, you paid off for 25 years, then people will refinance and get another 30-year mortgage. That's 35 years to pay off that house. And originally it was only going to take you 30 years because you've been paying off for 5 years, and then you just now you just got another loan, essentially another mortgage for 30 years. So that's why when you see people it's going to take 8 years, almost 20% think they'll never pay it off. Refinancing, not for everybody, but most of the time, adds more years as far as paying off the house or loan or mortgage, not less years. Through refinancing, borrowers can lower their interest rate. Interest rates are not lower. When was this article written? I don't know when this article was written, but interest rates have not been going lower for some years. They can even take cash out. Okay, don't use the home equity either. Put another link. Jesus. The study supports or do a reverse mortgage. The study shows a popular choice among homeowners with the majority. Okay, survey 58% refinance their home at some point. Okay, 72% of these individuals have done so to lower the interest rate. I guess it's just speaking overall. Additionally, homeowners over 62 can take out. Oh my! Don't do the reverse. I don't read the articles ahead of time. A home loan designed to convert a portion of home equity into cash rather than the borrower paying the lender. The lender makes tax-free payments to the borrower. This route can be advantageous as it allows individuals to maintain ownership of their home without making payments, so long as they remain compliant with the loan terms and requirements. Plus, the cash received can be used however they see fit. Yeah, don't do the reverse mortgage. They can do renovations, pay off credit card debt. Okay. Cover senior care expenses. That if you're in a situation where you might have to do a home mortgage, you probably might need to sell the house. That'd be a situation like you might need to sell the house, or just do a little bit playing a little bit early on. You might need to. That's one thing too. Some people want to retire with no money. It's like, can you work longer? If you're in a situation where you're not doing a physical labor job, are you in a position to work longer? So those extra 3 to 4 years, one would say you're making the most money you've ever made in your life because you're near retirement age. If you sit down with somebody and actually do some proper financial planning, I got to work another 10 years. You might got to work another 3 to 5 years to put yourself in a better situation. And by the way, you've been working your whole life and you didn't set yourself up. So sorry that we saying you got to work more, but it's like, dang, this is your whole life and you didn't properly manage it. So we're trying to save you with these last 3 to 5 years of this plan we're doing. Like, yeah, you got to keep working, but if you do this, you execute these steps, you're going to be able to have some semblance of a retirement of what you probably thought you was going to have. Keep in mind, a reverse mortgage borrower, you do have an ongoing obligation to pay property tax. Okay, homeowners insurance. Ultimately, Reverse mortgages can present a viable option to help eligible individuals with limited income use the accumulated wealth in their homes to cover basic monthly expenses, ensuring that their savings will last longer in retirement. Okay, as we wrap up, overcoming barriers, final survey thoughts. 19% of 60 to 70-year-olds do not know what a reverse mortgage is. Good. And hopefully they're not getting it. It's a statistic that's higher than the number of individuals who would be open to considering one, 15%, even better. And it's a trend that points to a growing demand for lenders to provide, that's bad, lenders to provide a reverse mortgage education. As the government continues to strengthen the rules and regulations for good reverse mortgages, they may be top of mind when retirement planning. Let's not forget that property values and home equity continue to be on the rise. That said, reverse mortgages are certainly an option that deserves further discussion. No. My guess, do you think American Financing offers reverse mortgages? At American Financing, our dedicated mortgage consultants, take the time to educate borrowers. Told you. All right, y'all, that's it. Locked and loaded. Don't do a reverse mortgage. Do everything you can not to retire with a mortgage. If your parents in a situation where they're near retirement age or at retirement age and they still have a mortgage, or you haven't done anything as far as had a conversation with them about estate planning, or should I say they haven't talked to you about their estate, you got to do what you can to bring up those situations. All right, because it's gonna come down to you, whether you like it or not, especially if you're for people who are only child. If you're only child, it's gonna be all on you when your parents die, or you got a single parent or whatnot. When estates are not managed properly, I want to be very clear. Trying to cuss on here, but shit gets fucked. If estates are not managed properly, it is a mess. It is a mess. So that's why, dang, I didn't put everything on here. Here go to black investors. Here go to retiring with the mortgage. I did all this stuff so the banner's not even using. But all right, y'all. That's it. Locked and loaded. End of the episode again. Mega mom and dad. Yes, people are living at home longer with their parents, but partly due to the financial situation that people are in due to student loan debt when they graduate in college. More information on financial literacy standpoint. It's good to stay at home if you're going to execute paying off your debt and building your savings. So when you go out, you don't have to depend on your parents anymore financially. When it comes to black investors, yes, and black investors did invest more under 40 years old as far as compared to their white counterparts during the pandemic and beyond. However, I guess we're always going to be beyond the pandemic. But however, a lot of them did not invest something they understood, and a third of them got their information from social media. Don't recommend doing that. First thing you do when it comes to investing is invest in things that you understand. And 47% of black and 45% of white people invest in something they did not understand. Don't do that. Last thing, retiring with a mortgage. Do everything you can not to retire with a mortgage. I think I should just be able to leave it at that. Your retirement strategy, usually, I've never seen it. People might talk about it, but I've never seen it. It's like, yeah, here's our plan for you from a financial standpoint. And when you retire, we're going to use some of this money when we're taking these distributions to continue to pay on your mortgage. Why would you do that? Just pay it off. Just pay it off before you retire. I mean, you get 30 years to pay off the mortgage. So if you're retiring if you say retirement age is 65, get your mortgage at 35. But again, a lot of people, if you don't have your mortgage by 35, get that 30 year. I mean, my goodness, if you get a 30-year mortgage post 40 and older, you're not going to pay it off if you pay it off on time. As far as the terms and conditions of the loan, you're not going to pay it off until you're in your 70s. That's crazy. That's why mortgage, aka death pledge, is what it is. But all right, y'all, that's it. Remember to comment, like, share, subscribe. Leave those rating reviews on the podcast platforms as well. Again, my information as well as my coach Jordan information can be found in the description. Jordan for the fitness information, finallyfit.live, 5:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, Monday and Wednesday, virtual training sessions. Then myself, Sideline_Corey, for the financial coaching information. Jordan stopped stalling Jay on socials, but finallyfit.live is his website for his training. All right, because I know he wants y'all to give him money. That's like what I say. Give Jordan and his wife money. But all right, y'all, that's it. Locked and loaded. Remember to save more and say less. Keep making better your best. And I'll catch y'all in the next one.